to the Song of Songs. After wrapping the subject of adult breastfeeding, I will be going in this episode through some of the mentions of breasts in the Song of Songs. But first of all, I want to salute today's mothers who are breastfeeding their children. Great. Press on. You are wonderful.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, he can say hi. It's all good.
He wants his own YouTube channel too.
As mentioned earlier, Tar335 posted a video on YouTube which was popular at the time. The title, Adult Breastfeeding, Licking Vaginas and Drinking Holy Sperm by Nasaras. Sam Shaman brought us the following brief concerning the subject. Muhammad commanded a married woman to nurse, breastfeed Salim, her husband's once adopted son, despite the fact that he had reached puberty. Aisha took this to mean that she could nurse, suckle, breastfeed those men that she wanted to have access to. Aisha also advised her sisters and nieces to do likewise, so as to allow men to enter into them. Muhammad's wives spoke out against this practice, claiming that Muhammad commanded this for Sahla alone, Sahla bin Suhail, concerning Salim, Mawla Abi Hudayfa. Others, such as Omar ibn Mas'ud, stated that kingship is limited to the nursing of a child for the first 2 years. After that, the milk becomes only food for the child. Omar commanded a man to beat his wife for nursing, breastfeeding a slave girl with the intention of making that slave girl unlawful for her husband. In brief, the female would breastfeed the male 10 times. It was reduced to 5, and some mentioned of 3, or just a little milk. And that became, once upon the time, a solution for my grandson to have access to the family, our extended family in Damascus. That we will take a little of the breast milk, my sister, for him to drink at distance. This is very much coming as allowances in today's age. Generally speaking, Muhammad's multiple hadiths affirm adult breastfeeding, but differ in how many suckling. And Mrs. Aisha, Muhammad's favorite wife, in which he said, "Take half of your religion from this radi." She is a pioneer, despite the opposition of other wives. The following slideshow would start with the pages from Ibn Qudama al-Mughni, very authentic collection of hadith in Islam, and some of the YouTube multiple discussions either supporting or refuting adult breastfeeding in Islam. Sometimes the debates between Sunni and Shiite, sometimes the debate between the Sunni themselves, but this is the brief slideshow for you. I want to stop for like 80 seconds, 81 seconds actually, with Sheikh Abu Ishaq al-Huwaini, one of the Muslim Salafi sheikhs in Egypt, well respected on the Egyptian and Arabic media and beyond. Sheikh Abu Ishaq al-Huwaini, first of all, said that the hadith, multiple, of adult breastfeeding are invalid and fabricated by the Jews is a joke, and that has nothing to do with real knowledge. So what he was saying, that those who are saying that adult breastfeeding are invalid and fabricated by the Jews is a joke. So adult breastfeeding is a reality. Maliki and Hanafi schools agreed that a sucking, one breastfeeding, makes muhram. That is, the male is forbidden from having sexual intercourse with the female. The probability that 3 breastfeeding are sufficient. The Prophet Muhammad died and the rule of 5 breastfeeding was fixed. The text of Ayah, Rida al-Kabir, adult breastfeeding, was raised, ascended, taken back to heaven, to the Lawh al-Mahfuz, and its ruling remained. The truth is, Sheikh Abu Ishaq, this verse was not ascended back to heaven, was not taken by Allah as you have mentioned, but was eaten by dajjal, eaten by a goat or a domestic animal, according to the authentic hadith of the mother of the believers, Aisha, and supported by many hadith authentics in Islam. On the other hand, you mentioned a hadith, plural hadith of breastfeeding are in error, which means you confess it is more than one hadith, it is more than Salim Mawla Abi Huzaifa. So this hadith of the war criminal Uqba ibn al-Harith say the following. He married a daughter of Abu Ihab bin Aziz. A woman came to him and asked them to give her something. She asked for alms. Once she asked more and they did not respond, she said, "Give me, for I have breastfed you." Uqba told her, "I do not know you have suckled me, and you haven't told me." Then he traveled to the Messenger of Allah in Medina and asked him. After so much avoidances, Muhammad said, "How?" And it was said. So Uqba left his wife, and she married another husband. Here we see, Muhammad did not ask how many sucklings. He did not ask about authenticating that what the woman said is correct. He did not ask when that happened. Was it when Uqba and his wife were babies or adults? Muhammad did not ask about anything, just to play it safe. He caused Uqba to divorce his wife because she was his sister from suckling by that mother, apparently suckling mother who appeared from nowhere. Uqba said, "I do not know you. I cannot remember that," which he understood that she meant that she breastfed him when he was an adult, saying, "I do not remember that. You haven't told me." It meant she suckled him when he was grown up. She would tell him and he would remember. This we find in Sahih al-Bukhari, the book of knowledge, and other resources as well. Good number of Sunni resources that the majority of Islam in the world today. This will bring us to today's practice. Apart from saying that I have been witnessing breastfeeding within the family, within my family back home and other families, and up to date I have nieces who have brothers from total strange families to our family. and they respect breastfeeding. And this is what we read. Al-Azhar was resolved as a Sharq al-Awsat newspaper reported the controversy raised by the adult breastfeeding fatwa issued by Dr. Izzat Atiyah, head of the Hadith department and the Faculty of Fundamentals of Religions at Al-Azhar University. Atiyah was dismissed from working at the university permanently and quitting him from his university job. The investigations with Dr. Atiyah began 4 months ago. Then the disciplinary council issued after that a decision that the adult breastfeeding fatwa necessitated removal from the position while keeping the salary. The council did not seem to indicate to what legal justification for taking this hardline stance from Dr. Atiyah, head of the Hadith department in Al-Azhar. The origin and chain of the fatwa is a clear and well-known hadith in Sahih Muslim, for example. And the reference to the issue of breastfeeding the older is circulated in the books of jurisprudence. Hence, Dr. Atiyah did not bring a heresy. He was not a heretic man. Atiyah attributed a fatwa in which he permitted a woman who works with a man who is a stranger to her in one room where they have no third person to breastfeed him, so that being alone between them is not forbidden. Amid the widespread controversy that the fatwa sparked on the newspaper pages and on the internet, the Supreme Council of Al-Azhar issued a statement stating that what Dr. Atiyah said contradicts the principles of the true Islamic religions, violates the principles of education and morals, and offends Al-Azhar as a prestigious Islamic institution. Al-Azhar University did not state that their dismissal of Dr. Izzat Atiyah was on the basis of authentic hadith. They avoided the reality of the matter. Their concern was what did that cause in the public. But the hadith is there. People are reading it. In the matter of fact, people are acting upon it. So why the fuss? I cannot forget the shock. The shock of the wonderful TV presenter, Hala Sarhan, when she read the article in the local newspaper and asked the sheikh to come for an interview. Apparently she was raised up in a type of society who do not practice breastfeeding. Hala hesitated even to read the fatwa directly and asked the sheikh. She said, "Ilhaqni, ilhaqni, ilhaqni."
أنا ما قدرتش أقراه. الحقني 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 يا فضيلة الشيخ.
Come to my rescue, come to my rescue, come to my rescue. What shall I do with these, the cameraman, the producer, and all those working around me?
اللي بيشتغلوا معايا دول أعمل فيهم إيه؟ سواقين وزملاء والمصورين أعمل إيه؟
And the sheikh laughed and said, "Do what is in the newspaper."
اعملي ايه؟ اعملي اللي في الجورنال.
As I mentioned in the previous episode, I will be going through breasts mentioned in the Song of Songs. The first and most intimate mention of breast in the Song of Songs is chapter 1, verse 13. My beloved is like a fragrant pouch of myrrh, spending the night between my breasts. If I make a literal translation, the verse may read, a pouch of myrrh, my beloved to me, between my breasts, abides. As you see in the translation, I usually quote from the Net Bible, and my own translation, the difference is between the simile and the metaphor. Actually, my literal translation carries the metaphor, while number of English language translations put the simile. My beloved is like a fragrant pouch of myrrh. The Hebrew term myrrh in English, refers to an aromatic gum which exudes from the bark of a tree, was native to Arabia, Abyssinia, that is Ethiopia today, and India. The solid form was widely used in the Jewish temple and synagogues during the worship. Myrrh and other aromatics were placed around the house in a small cloth, pouch, or sachet. Women worn them as perfume next to their body. That what associated these aromatics with romance. Here we have the residue of myrrh I mentioned before. Some are mixed with the frankincense, because the two together, the myrrh and frankincense, they go very well together. They are synergic, so they go very well. And in the worship, they are all used in the temple as well as in the synagogues. The temples in the past, there is no temple now, and in the synagogues. People put these aromatic materials in pouches like this, or they can buy it ready. Herbe de Provence. This is certainly from France. I must have bought it a while back for illustration. So people will hang this around the house, put it around the wall, or in a sealed little pillow in a way. People can lean on it. What they can do, put some grains, some of the lavender here, and whatever aromatic materials you enjoy, just put them there. You can use it by the pillow or somewhere. The scent is not that strong. It is very gentle scent dispersed from the materials through the time. And these would last for a long time. For perfume, initially, they did not have, praise God for that, they had essential oils extracted from resins, flowers, and barks, and other aromatic materials, and diluted to be made for casual use, or they were used neat. So this is, for instance, this is one of the first disperser. I remember it vividly in the barber shop when he would finish the work and then he will go, still working, yeah, barely. Then came with these dispersers with a pump, smaller ones, you can see it is spraying. Then we have so many things. This is ready, like aftershave. It's very simple. And then this one, this is perfume, homemade, that's my work. Around the house, this is the modern one, actually. This is for aromatic material, not for the essential oils. So people will put the things in a pouch there, seal it, and hang it around the house. With the heat of the house, the natural heat, the aromatic material would dispense their scent through these holes, as you can see the holes. Or essential oils can be placed in this and put around the house. Now, ladies, mainly ladies, I don't see why not gentlemen, would have a small aromatizer, I would say, or dispenser that would, this is full, and it is my own. These will come in different shapes and colors to suit the ladies. Here we have the pure rose oil sealed with red wax, sealed. It is open, this one. It goes with a screw. And this is the rose essential oils. It's very precious. This is the gold. To me, it is more precious than a shiny piece of metal. And the red seal, it is for authenticity. So when people buy this is from Bulgaria, actually. When people buy these things, they want to make sure that the materials are not tampered with. Then we come to more modern age as well, with pouches. Pouches are still used. This is the pouch of frankincense, gift of Oman. And this is another aromatic materials I filled myself. So that could be simply used as the beloved in the Song of Songs, chapter 1, verse 13 mentioned. Ladies may put this between their breast, by their heart, or place it on their pillow. Well, when King Solomon came to visit his beloved, he had that myrrh. That's how the myrrh was transferred from his hand to the latch of the door when he was about to open the door, but he didn't open it. He left and went. So his hands were full of myrrh, the residue and the oil he was working with, because they had plenty of the raw materials. The myrrh was used as incense, raw materials, in other perfumery at the time. We are talking about 3,000 years ago. It was used as oil. So he was working apparently the time he came to his beloved. He wanted to give her some, and he put his hand through the keyhole, as we have read it, but then as she did not respond, as gentle as King Solomon was, he left, but he left the myrrh on the latch of the door at the same time. Then we have I will conclude with this. We have these things. The inscription in English, love the Lord your God with all your heart. On the other side, it is engraved there, with all my heart. And this is to go as pendant round the neck, down to the breast. And this what my lady place round their neck and down to their hearts. It looks innocent, circular, but if we open it, we come to 4 circular golden things, where a lady may put the photo of her kids or a photo of her beloved, close it and place it by her breast. I remember my mom used to tell me, "Anta bi qalbi habibi," you are in my heart. And that wasn't for a night, forever like. So here we have, the lady is saying in the Song of Solomon, the Song of Songs, my beloved is like a fragrant pouch of myrrh. They had no physical contact at that time. It was all poetry language.